Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. GitLab CI/CD, Episode 5 of 14. Your build job completes perfectly, but your deployment job mysteriously fails with a file not found error. You check the runner and the files were definitely generated just a few minutes ago. The problem usually boils down to a fundamental misunderstanding between two keywords, artifacts and cache. These two concepts are frequently confused because they both involve saving files on a runner, but they exist for entirely different reasons. The cache keyword defines a list of files and directories intended to speed up your pipeline. It stores downloaded dependencies between different pipeline runs. Take a standard Node project as an example. Your build job requires thousands of packages in the Node modules folder. Instead of downloading them from the public registry every single time a developer pushes code, you configure a cache. You give it a key based on your package lock file and point it to the Node modules directory. On subsequent runs, GitLab restores those files locally. Here is the key insight. Caching is strictly an optimization. If the cache is purged, expires, or fails to extract, your job must still be able to run and succeed by downloading the packages from scratch. A missing cache just means a slower pipeline, not a broken one. Your job logic should never depend on a cache being present. Artifacts serve a completely different architectural purpose. The artifacts keyword specifies files and directories generated by a job that must be passed to subsequent jobs within the same pipeline run. They are not an optimization. They are a structural requirement for your CI flow. Returning to the Node project, your build job compiles your source code into a final output directory called dist. Your deployment job runs in a later stage and needs that exact dist folder to push to your production server. Because jobs run in isolated environments, the deploy job cannot simply reach into the build job workspace. You bridge this gap using artifacts. You define the dist folder under the artifacts keyword in your build job. Upon job success, GitLab takes those files, packages them, and attaches them to the pipeline. When the downstream deployment job starts, GitLab automatically downloads that artifact package and extracts it into the working directory. If an artifact is missing, the downstream job will fail because the required files literally do not exist in the workspace. Unlike a cache, you cannot simply download an artifact from the internet if it's missing. It contains the unique intermediate state of your current pipeline run. In a properly configured YAML file, you often use both in the same build job. You set the cache to target your dependencies folder to save time. You set the artifacts to target your compiled output folder to pass data forward. The deployment job later in the pipeline does not need the cache at all. It only requires the built code, which it receives seamlessly because artifacts are downloaded by default in all subsequent stages. When you configure your next pipeline, remember this rule. Use the cache for external dependencies you pull down to save time, and use the artifacts for the internal build results you must pass forward to complete the deployment. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Go build something cool.